Hey YouTube, this is Andrea here, and we are here to work on our 6x6 mini album. This is the Put It Together, and that is going to be putting together the front cover, the back cover, and the spine. Now, I am going to be using the tie back this time. Normally, I didn't use it because I didn't want to go buy it. Then I got an envelope in the mail, and I said, hey, that's tie back, I'm gonna use it. So that's why I have it. What we're gonna need today is our paper cutter and our scoreboard. So with the tie back, what I want to do is put it from edge to edge just in the corners here. So I'm going to use it like a hinge to hold together my book here and my book here. So let's do that first. I tried writing on this before, and believe me, it's not easy to write on tie back. So I'm going to forgive my scratches. I was playing with my puppy and he got a little carried away. Alright, so there's our mark for that one. And this cuts just fine on your paper cutter or your paper trimmer. This cuts right out. Okay, that's perfect. And I want it to go all the way to the from edge to edge. So, cut off a little bit at the end. I don't know what you could use that for, but I'm not going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it away. Alright, so now I have this piece, which I can use to cut for this piece. Let's turn it over, measuring it from top to bottom, and marking where I need to cut. Like so. Alright. I still have a load of tie back left. One envelope goes like on forever. Then I need my tape. And I'm going to find the end here. There we go. And I'm going to tape on each side of my tie back before I score it. Okay. And I want to score the tie back straight down the middle. Which I have here, see, that's a half, then an eighth, so it's a half, 1, 2, 3, 3 of an eighth, a half, 3 of an eighth. So just go ahead and press down to score down the middle there. Well, just like so. And we'll do the same for the other side. I like to put the tape on because it makes it a little sturdier for holding it down while you score. Uh-oh, ran out of tape. That's okay. We'll use that, and we will get some more. Recycle that. Okay, I found the end. Okay. Alright, then we want to score this one, and this one we're going to score it down the middle as well. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now we want to take our tie back, and we want to make sure we have a little bit of a gap between the boards, the book boards. You can use one book board to butt up against another book board, or you can use your bone folder to butt up against. But we don't want it too far apart, like so. Then we're going to remove the backing of our tape. Like so. I have seen other people put the tie back over the whole ensemble. And you know, be my guest to do that. You don't have to do it exactly like me. That's just another way of using the tie back. Okay. You remember that score line we put? Well, it's got to go down the middle. So sometimes it's easier to put your hand on one and your hand on the other and use your fingers. And then try not to move it. Like that. Okay. And there is where our tie back is. Okay. We have that side done. Let's go ahead and move on to this side. Okay. Remove the backing of our tape on this one. fix our boards back. Okay. Oh, brother. Leave it to me. We'll get it back. Get it back into shape. There we go. Good grief. And again, we have our score line to help. Now, the other way of putting this on, instead of making sure that score line goes down, you can move this out the way, and then you can just do one side at a time, like so, and then bring this one over, and then butt this up, leaving that little bit of gap, and then fold this over like so. I think that might be easier. Okay, so now we've got our tie back on, so we are good to go there. Let's see, we'll put this here. Now we want to make sure to cover that tie back, but before I do that, I have another secret weapon, which is my glue, and I'm going to put that down the inside here where the tie back meets this end and where it meets this end, and let that lay flat. I'm going to do the same on this side. Now this glue that I'm using, it dries clear, so I'm not worried about the, you know, the whiteness showing up wherever it's going to show up. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that is going to help a lot, and it just reinforces what we already have. As you can see, we are smooth, open, and close. Okay, now we have to work on our hinge. Now you can do any type of hinge you want, whatever hinge you are used to doing is fine. Just you know, use the one that you're most familiar with. I'm going to be, now there's a couple that I can go with. I can go with the hidden hinge, or I can just go with a plain hinge. Now the plain hinge, all it requires is that you cut your paper to the shape that you want it. I'll go ahead and make one for you. So my book is 6 by 6 with a 3-inch hinge. I like putting lots of pages in my book. So for instance, I'm going to cut this down to 6 inches that way. This is, don't throw your scraps. You will probably need it. And then I need 6.5 inches this way. So there's my 6 and there's my half. I'll show you mine in a second. Okay. Now I'm going to score 1/2. Just gonna pull it on up here, score it 1/2, and that's gonna be my hinge. Once I've done that, just fold that hinge over, flatten it out nice and good, and then you're going to put it in your book like so and stick it down. And as you can see, the 6 inches is perfect because the book's height is 6 inches. So you can just use, excuse me, a bunch of these. They'll be a half an inch apart. You could probably get in 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get 4 pages in, which gives you 8 pages. If you do 3 pages, you'll get the 6 pages. And if you do 6 pages, you'll get 12 pages. But, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and try it like that this time. So let's give it a try. See how we like it. Okay. So remember, we're going to cut a few sheets into 6. Sorry for the shaking, guys. I have to get in my drawer. 6 by 6.5 on your cut. So I gotta pull out more paper. So it is 6 by 6.5. Okay, and we'll score at 1/2. I'm putting my scraps in this pile because I don't throw away my black paper at all, because I go through too much of it and I always need the scraps. So 6 inches by 6.5. So that gives me 3 pages so far. I think I want to go with maybe 5 pages. Oh, we gotta do 6.5. Okay, we'll go for one more. That'll give me 10 pages altogether, because we do front and back. But you notice what happens when we do it this way is that you don't get those top pockets or side pockets because we're not doubling up on our paper. And you don't always need pockets that big in your mini album. So, okay, now we're going to move that. We are going to take our scraps and put them in our drawer. We're going to get our scoreboard. Oh, another scrap. And we're going 6.5. And we can put pockets on these if you want to. So it's up to you. And I will probably have pockets on here, just not really big ones. This is going to be fun. Something different. These are called base pages, by the way. Base pages are usually the framework of your main pages. And your main pages are the ones that you decorate and you put together, and they have pockets and slides, stuff like that. Okay. I'm going to take these up. So this base page, or these base pages, were 6 by 6.5, and then scored at 1/2. Recycle, flatten that out. Okay, so now I'm going to set the base pages down. I don't want to do that until, actually I don't want to do that until I have covered these lines here. And I'm going to take that scrap paper that we had from cutting these base pages. Long enough. Ooh, that's perfect right there. Alright, so that's the size I want. Perfect, perfect. Alright, I want that size. So I'm going to get that size from this scrap piece of paper. Just going to mark it here and here. Then I can get another one right next to it. I'm going to go all the way to the corner here. Mark that there and there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to cut that down. Another extra scrap that you don't have to throw away. And I need one more. Let's get in those scraps, and I have it right there. Awesome. Okay, so I have to take the scoreboard, and I'm going to score down the middle of each one of these. Okay, there's one. Two, 3, and 4. Alright, so these were 2-inch strips, 2 inches wide, 6 inches long, if you needed to know the measurements. Okay, on these strips you want to fold them both back and forth, just like so, just to loosen it up, make it loosey-goosey. And then you're going to put tape on each side, just like we did with the Tyvek. You don't want to overdo it, because you don't want this to buckle, which is why you want to make sure that score line is nice and loose. So you're going to take it, you're going to smush it that way, and then you're going to smush it this way. And you're going to make sure that is nice and loose. I'm not trying to tear it, I'm just trying to make it nice and supple so that when we go to put it on here, it will bend and curve with the book. And once you get these on, the book will not it will not bend any old kind of way like it is now. It's not going to do that. These are going to firm up the book. Okay. Alright. And again, you can take it on one side and just put your paper right up to the edge. Try not to get stuck to the paper, which I obviously love to do. Just fold it down. See, no buckling because we did a good job folding this back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so we're going to do it again. We're going to fold it back and forth, back and forth. And you're going to put pressure on both sides. If your paper is tearing, you probably folded too much, but 2 or 3 times should be enough. But I've had my pages, or these sides, buckle on me because I didn't take the time to score and make that supple. So sometimes my tape backing does not want to come off. Okay. The other way you can do it, because I just thought of this, is you could take your paper here and just lay it in the groove, like so. Like that. And then let your paper, let it lay flat, just like that. Okay. Make sure I'm not buckling. That's perfect. Perfect. I love it. Alright, so that's what it looks like on the back. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I want to cover that as well. But before I do, I'm going to use my Sharpie. Remember I said keep your Sharpie on hand? You never know when you might need it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in the paper here at the very edge, because I don't want that white to show through the top. Let's see. See how you can see the white right through the top? So you just want to take your Sharpie and color that in. If I'm not mistaken, Sharpies are about the only thing you can use to color tie back. If you know better, please let us all know, because I don't know of any other marker that would allow that tie back will saturate up. Okay. We're going to do the bottom part as well. And this does not have to be perfect. Nobody's going to see it. So, no perfect lines needed. Perfect. Okay. Even though I say perfect, it's not really perfect. It's just good enough for me. Okay. Now I'm going to loosey-goosey this one. No, mine keeps doing that. Let's get it together there, paper. There we go. All right. Goodness. And we put our score tape on. I am using 1/2 inch score tape. It just covers a lot more than the 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch. Take the backing off. This up here, I'm going to fold. I'm going to set this puppy right up to the score line where it belongs. Okay. All right. See, it was trying to buckle, but you got to make sure that score line is loosey-goosey. Now we are on top of this here, and that can make it thicker and harder to get your hinge on. But that's okay, because we can work through that. Now I'm going to pull off the backing. Like so. Good night, honey. Love you. Drea says good night, everybody. You know she got to say her good night. This is some good strong tape, y'all, if you didn't know. Then I want to use my foam folder and get that bent in there. So make sure I am not buckling all over the place. Alright, so I did that, and I have some overhang, which is easily remedied. We just take our scissors and we trim. Just don't cut your book board. I got some on this side. Perfect. Alright, so now let's get to those pages we made. Very simple pages. And as you can see, I have from here to here. So I want to be careful with my score line and not get my page too close to that. And that, I'm going to use a little glue on. Like so. And I like to turn my book this way, just so I can see what I'm doing next to that score line. And get it in there. Like so. Alright. Now I've got my first page in. Now what you can do from here is try to see, make sure that you didn't overthink how many pages you could fit in here. So I think we're going to be right on the money. So let's find out. Now we have 2 pages. I'm applying a lot of pressure because I don't want it to come off. I want this to be permanently adhered to the book board. And you can get black book board at Michael's and on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon. I got both black and craft, and I think it was a pretty good deal. It was I believe about $25 for a big thick amount of chipboard. But if you know of a place that's cheaper, I'm all ears. And so are the people watching. So you let us know if we can get it cheaper. That'd be great. Okay. We're doing real good. I have a feeling I might can get another page in here. We'll see in a second. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, no, I'm feeling that, I better turn this around so I don't get that line. We're not going to get another page in here, but at least we know how many pages we can get in here. Scored at a 1/2 inch. So maybe if you score it at a 1/4 inch, you'll get more pages in here. I did a 1/2 because I want it to be really strong. Alright, so that is our pages in our book. There is our spine. Those are our pages, and you can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us 10 pages because we count both the front and the back. How nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of putting it together so that we can get to making our paper and getting our paper together. Again, we're going to be using the Nature Garden and the journal cardstock. This is journaling, journal writing cardstock, and then Nature Garden. Remember, these are thick papers. If you're going to do it like I did it here, instead of doing a hidden hinge, use thick paper on these. You do not want to use very thin paper because it's already, like this cardstock is not as heavy duty. So you want to thicken it up, give that page some strength and balance. Alright. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Have a great one. Bye.